Welcome to the Christian Wrestling Federation today. We are your hosts, Rob and Beth Vaughn. And man, we have a great guest on our show again this week. Thank you for tuning in. This week's guest, I'm really excited because I know this guy, personal friend. We go way back. But man, what an incredible story he has. I want to introduce to you today Mr. Kenny Duck. Kenny, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And his story is, he is a heart recipient. And we are going to get into that more here in just a little bit. But first, let's get to know Kenny.
Yes, we'd like to know how you were raised up. Like, I grew up in church, going every Sunday. I was there. Tell us about your upbringing.
I was raised in the church as well. My family, mom and dad were very, very religious. But there was a time after my 5th and 6th grade year, we started kind of branching off from church a little bit. Didn't spend as much time as we used to. Yes. And that was a journey. And once, we left there and grew up and I got married, then we started going back to church, Sheila and I.
Well, you, I know I talked to you a little bit earlier, but y'all were very active when you were young, right? And
yes.
You came to know Christ, what, about 5th grade,
Fifth
you
grade.
said?
5th grade, yes.
Okay.
And I went to Bible school, vacation school. We did everything. My mom and dad, we were very, very involved in that. And then it just seemed like we just started drifting apart from that. And just like a lot of Christians do. Still Christian, but, not being that connected Christian that we need to be.
Right. That does happen.
Well, I think we look up sometimes, our lives we have busier times than others,
But it's never too late to return back to the Lord.
That's right, for sure. And so, anyways, you were quite an athlete in high school, and you went on and wanted to play some college ball. Tell us about that.
Yeah, after I left South Carolina High School, I was a preferred walk-on at ACU, Abilene Christian University in Abilene, Texas. I spent there for about 3 weeks or so. Okay. And my dad was a truck driver, and so we couldn't afford a private school. So the only thing I could do for my mom and dad to afford that was me to get a scholarship.
Sure.
What position did you play?
I played secondary.
Okay.
I was a defensive back.
Awesome.
And so I went there for 3 weeks and made the team, but the coach said that, hey, we just don't have enough scholarship money for you. And so I had to make a choice. And the choice was real simple. Mom and dad couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So I had to leave there, and I went to Kilgore Junior College, where my future wife was going. She was a Kilgore Rangerette. Her name was Sheila Price. Now it's Sheila Duck. And so we spent 2 years down there with her, and wonderful years. Played around a little bit. Didn't do as well as I wanted to do in college. And so when I got back home, Mom and Dad said, we ain't paying for your college anymore, so you got to go to work.
Well, were y'all involved at all? I mean, in church when you were at Kilgore?
No, not at all.
That's so. It seems to be the trend. Even good kids. I mean, they grow up going to church, involved in their youth groups and stuff. Man, it just seems those years. It's tough for a lot of them. Yeah, it really is.
But I love how the Lord was like, nope, I don't want you at Abilene Christian. I want you here.
Yes.
For His plan, His purpose, whatever that was.
Yes. Even though we weren't involved in college, in church and college as much. One thing that we were always connected with God. We always felt that God was with us, and He made us make the right choices. And Sheila and I did that very well. But we still had those times that we ventured away and wasn't as strong as we'd like for it to be, as we are today.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. And so you come back home and you had to work a little bit. You had a couple of things you had to go through before you could get back to college to finish and get everything paid for, right?
Yeah. Dad told me, he said, son, we're not going to pay for your college anymore because you played around a little bit too much at Kilgore, and for that reason, you got to do it on your own. And I did. I did it for, goodness gracious, maybe 2 or 3 years of going to school at night and raising a family. I had a child, my firstborn, Taylor, was born.
Wow.
And my wife was working, I was working, and having that and going to school at night. And then finally, my last 2 years, my dad and my mom said, hey, we want you to quit work, go back and get your degree at East Texas State University at that time.
There we go.
And get your degree. And once I got my degree, went to work and I started teaching and coaching.
Awesome. And that is during that time at good old ET, which is now Texas A&M Commerce, 2017 national champions in football, by the way. That is where Kenny and I met. I was finishing up school also, and and we had a lot of the same classes back then, and so we met way back when. And so now here we are. He just finished his 27th year of coaching, and I know we were just talking about that.
That's exhausting. Just hearing 27 years.
It's going by fast though, really fast, really fast.
I bet.
And you've been all over Texas.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I've been. I was obviously in the Dallas area for a while. Left when I ended up in McKinney in 2008, and left McKinney North High School and went to Queen City High School, or ISD, as the athletic director and head football coach there.
Now that's just a spit right over the Louisiana state line.
Oh,
isn't
it's great. It's a spit. It's crazy as it sounds. It's so close to Arkansas and Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were that close. But I spent a year there, and then I also spent a year in West Texas at Estacada High School in Lubbock, and then just did my tour around here to the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Awesome. Well, I know that, being a coach myself, you have a chance to influence so many kids and so many lives.
Yeah.
And 27 years, think about all the thousands of kids that come through those programs, and kids I'm sure that come back to you, and now they've got kids, and you probably coach their kids now. And so, it's just it's amazing that God, called you and put you in a place where you can have that type of influence. And I've been over to the school. I've seen him out there on the field coaching those players, and the love that they have for him. And so it's it's definitely a calling, and it's really cool to see that, especially somebody all these years. And but we're going to dive a little bit more into him and his family, and then eventually we're going to get to him becoming what led to him becoming the heart recipient. So we're going to do that here in just a few minutes.
So you hang on, because we'll be right back after this short break with our friend Kenny Duck.
Hey guys, my name is Buzzard from the Christian Wrestling Federation. Ephesians 2:8-9 says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, is a gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast." Here's what I know. If there's anything I could do to get my salvation, I would definitely do something to lose my salvation. That verse reminds me that there's nothing I can do to lose my salvation, because it was a free gift from God. I think it was Jonathan Edwards that said, the only thing that we bring to our salvation is the sin that requires it. That's me. That's my story. I know I am a sinful human, but by God's grace, He's saved me from that, and I'll be able to spend eternity with Him in heaven.
Hi there, we're back, and we're here with our good friend Kenny Duck, and he is about to tell us all about his heart transplant. So take us back to 2002.
2002. I'm coaching at North Mesquite High School, coaching football and soccer, and I was at soccer practice that morning, and I felt real faint. I didn't really know what was going on with me, and so I went into my trainer and asked him what I should do, and he said he didn't really know, but he had a doctor at downtown Baylor that he advised me to go see, and so I went down there and talked to him, and he ran some tests and EKGs and all that kind of stuff. He said everything looks pretty good for me. And he did that for the next 3 years until 2005.
So there's like full physicals then?
Full physicals.
Everything?
Everything.
Okay.
I mean, my physical took about an hour and a half
Yeah.
or so each time I went, every year. And so I did that every year, and in 2005, he noticed some disruptions in my EKG.
Mm-hmm.
And so he advised me to go to a cardiologist in downtown Baylor.
Okay.
And so I went to the cardiologist down there, and so he ran some tests on me. It's called a catheterization.
Mm-hmm.
And so they ran blood or fluid through my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went through there, and after he ran through it and all that kind of stuff, he came back to me and said, "Okay, you need to be sitting down, which you already are. You have about 6 to 8 clogged arteries, anywhere between 50 to 80% blockage.
Oh my goodness.
And he said you also have what we call cardiomyopathy."
Hey, are you sure you got the right person? Because I work out, look how fit I am, all those things going through your head.
Yeah, it was crazy because, like Robbie just said, I worked out 5 days a week, ran, did all kinds of stuff, very, very active, and you just don't think that this is going to happen to you. And so when he told me that, and I said, "Well, what's cardiomyopathy?" And he said, "Well, that's a genetic. Most of the time it's genetic through your heart." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, I believe my mom had it."
Mm-hmm.
And coming back and thinking about it, my mom had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay.
And she passed away at age 51. And they said it was because of her heart. Well, now, after reading the studies and stuff and everything, it went through the lab reports, it was her cardiomyopathy that killed her. It wasn't her non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Good.
And so I'm going, oh my goodness. And so after that, I went through this, and so he just put me on medication. He always, doctor always wanted me to, put a pacemaker in me and just have something to regulate me. And I said, no, I'm too fit. I don't want to do that. It messes up my bench press, all this kind of stuff, all that. So I just didn't want to go through that.
Right.
And so it wasn't until 2015 that it hit me. Now, I'm on medication this whole time.
What, were you going to get in the physical still?
Still.
Every year, all those years?
From 2002 till now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been going to a yearly physical, and those physicals.
But you found out, though, that other relatives had this same disease, right?
Oh, yes. I found out, obviously, my mom had it. Both of her brothers have it. She's got 3 brothers. One does not have it. And I also found out that my daughter has it, Abby. She's my youngest of two daughters. I had Taylor tested. Taylor is fine.
Okay.
But Abby has it as well.
But now this causes her not to be able to have children. Is that correct?
That's correct. She cannot have children. So that was devastating. But she also knew too that was God's way of telling us, hey, let's don't go through pregnancy, because if you do, she may not make it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So does she have to take medication also now, or is this something that you can prepare for? I mean, what's her situation?
Yes, she's got to take the same medication that I'm taking, and a combination of Lipitor and stuff that it keeps the growth, because what cardiomyopathy is an enlargement of your walls of your heart.
Okay.
And it decreases the blood function from your heart to the rest of your organs.
Okay.
And so I believe hers right now is sitting about 35% at the age of 23. When I found out, mine was at the age of, goodness gracious, I can't remember, in my late 40s. Mine was sitting around 35, maybe 30.
And this leads to congestive heart failure.
Yes, it did.
And then you found this out in 2015, correct?
2015. Came back from vacation, went through summer program at the high school that I was teaching and coaching at. Went through 2 days, and it was a Sunday, the 23rd, the day before school started on the 24th.
Oh,
okay.
I woke up. Sheila and I woke up to go to church, and I felt a hard time breathing. So I took the dogs outside, and I thought I was going to have my wife come get me. And I made it back to the condo, and went back, and she said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I can't breathe." So she got me in the car, took me to the hospital, and they took me in, and they said, "Mr. Duck, you're having congestive heart failure." And I said, "What?" And so that's fluid around your heart. And they said, "We got to admit you."
Man. And so they admit you, and they put is this where they put the pacemaker in?
No, they did a series of tests on me from September. They did a series of tests, cleaned out my stents, put a stent in me, cleaned out the rest of my heart and everything else. And then that wasn't working. And then my youngest daughter that has cardiomyopathy, Abby, we find out in the meantime, between all this, she has a tumor in her brain stem, the stem of her spinal cord, at the base of her brain. And my wife and I were going, okay, God puts you through things if you can handle them. Yeah, it really is. And we can handle this. And so we did. And so she put us through she was in a hospital. We removed the tumor, but I was in the hospital at the same time getting my pacemaker put in my heart.
So y'all like at Baylor at like opposite ends?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so after I got my pacemaker in, they wheeled me in to her recovery room after she had a brain surgery.
That's awesome.
And when she woke up,
you were there.
We got pictures of us hugging each other.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's precious.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So I take it she's fine now?
She's doing fine.
Everything's been removed?
Everything's been removed. She does have no problems as far as her tumor. Tumor's gone. It was not malignant, thank goodness.
Good.
And so that was something that we were blessed with. Yes. But then when we found out that she had cardiomyopathy, at the same time, we were like, oh my goodness. But if anyone can handle that type of adversity, it's my daughter Abby.
Wow.
She can do it.
Strong woman.
Strong woman.
Well,
Stonewall.
and so during this time, your faith definitely. I mean, I can't imagine. We haven't gone through something like this, so we're not going to speak for you. But I'm just guessing. You're just like, all right, God, you got a purpose and a plan, but still, why is this happening to me? I mean, some of y'all had so much thrown at you all at one time. I mean, was your faith, just as a family, just strengthened? Were y'all just like, all right, God, you got this? Tell me what y'all were thinking.
My wife Sheila was the rock.
Okay.
She did not. I never saw her shed a tear. She stayed through this, through thick and thin, and she kept everybody together. Of course, I didn't know any difference because I'm in bed.
Right.
I don't know what I'm experiencing. My thoughts the whole time while I was going through all the things I was going through. How quick can I get back to work? That's so funny.
He loves his job,
I love my job. I love my job.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we cannot wait to hear the rest of the story. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the CWF Today. We're your hosts, Rob and Beth Vaughn, and we're here with our guest today, Kenny Duck, and he is about to tell us this incredible story about being the heart recipient and everything that went into that. So, man, pick up where you left off and let's hear about it.
Well, I was talking about my wife, Sheila, and she being the stone,
right?
The basis of our family. And, she went through not only my LVAD surgery, but she also went through my daughter with all of her, her tumor that they found, and also her, cardiomyopathy that we found out that she has as well. And all this, I never saw her shed a tear, neither did my daughters. So that I've never seen Mom cry.
Uh-huh.
But eventually she did. And Sheila told us. She went down in a waiting room area or chapel area of the church. And she just broke down and she asked God, why us? Why is everything going with us? And not questioning God, but just asking, why? And she was sitting there crying and stuff. And then a lady comes by that works at the hospital and says, man, what's wrong? And of course Sheila said, no, I don't want to share this with you and all this kind of stuff. And the lady said, well, let me pray for us. And she started praying. And when she prayed for Sheila opened up. Uh-huh. And they're both there crying and all the things that she was going through. And then a man walks up and that works at the hospital as well and said, what's wrong? And they kind of told him a bit. He goes, well, let me sing for you guys. So he sang a hymn, one of the church hymns for him, and Sheila said it was beautiful. Uh-huh. He sang like an angel.
Wow.
And and he probably was an angel.
Yeah, I know.
And that was the beauty of that. And so when she got that was God's way of working through people, or could have been a guardian angel.
Right.
And what were they telling her?
They were telling her, hey, be strong. God's going to get you through this. Have faith.
And what about being blessed? He's blessing you, right?
Oh yeah. He's blessing us, and just says, hey, God's got an answer for this, and He's got everything that's going to work. Just let Him work it.
But you still had more complications. You had a stroke while you were in there.
Oh my goodness! After my LVAD surgery, I had a stroke. But before that, I'd like to share with you.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I was asleep, but I had a voice that told me, Coach Leaf is praying for you. And I've always kept that to me and with me. And it had to be God.
Yeah.
Because when it was told to me, I woke up from my surgery. And, I know Coach Leaf, he has prayed for me day, lunch, dinner, every day. And he still does.
Well, and our Sunday school class was praying for you, and no telling who else out there was praying for you. So prayers do work.
And you didn't even know Kenny back then.
I didn't know
I
Kenny.
did, but you did.
Right,
and we
but
were
I
praying.
remember praying for him fervently every day.
Yeah.
And I do like to state that too. Even though I do mention just Coach Leaf's name, because that's what was talked to me while I was recovering from surgery. Many people have prayed for me. And guys, the power of prayer is so great.
Very good.
Please don't ever deviate from that. Please, because that's what keeps me here. That's the reason I'm still here.
All of us.
Yeah.
So you had the stroke. They did surgery. They got everything taken care of there, and you woke up and didn't even know what happened, did you?
No, I didn't. And going back to the stroke, Dr. Lima, which is now a heart transplant, doctor in New York. Just recently wrote a book himself. He came to my wife Sheila and said, "Listen, we found blockage in the upper part of his left eye, and it's almost 100%. And if we don't get it, there's a 50% chance that Kenny will not survive." And he went in there and got it all out. Now, guys, I want to tell y'all this. The doctors have told me that I should have passed away 4 times.
Wow.
It's by the grace of God that I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why he wants me here.
He's got more plans for you, obviously.
It does.
Obviously. Yep. And so you made it through that, and now you're on the list, right? Or you had to be 6 months, right?
Yes.
6 months.
Yes. I had to be 6 months in the LVAD, which is a pump system that's in your body that you have to have. It's battery operated. And so I had to wear battery packs and stuff for at least over 6 months.
So I'm sure you just wore up to the gym and worked out with the battery packs.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. I got one of those shirts, compression shirts, and you put stuff in, and I put my batteries in there.
I can see you doing that.
Worked out. I bench pressed. I did everything with it, and I did that until the end of July.
Okay.
And then they said, "Okay, now you're eligible to get on the transplant list again."
Okay.
And I said, "All right, I'm excited." And then a few days later, they said, "Well, we're going to take you off the list because your kidneys are not functioning where you need to.
No.
Because your kidneys have to be strong enough to withstand the surgery."
Right.
And so I was back off the list. And of course, that frustrates you a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know what? Being in the LVAD, it was not that bad. And so going through that, I was all right with it. But I'm still on the list. They were going to say, as soon as your kidneys get back where they need to be, we'll put you back on the list. Well, I went back on the list about the middle and latter part of August. And so once I got on the list, I got a phone call on September the 20th of September. And they said, "We have a donor for you." And this donor, I'm so thankful for him and his family. Miguel did he that's the reason I'm still here, other than God. And so he's got a beautiful family. I increased my family by 12 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many cousins and
Oh,
aunts
my
and uncles?
goodness.
Yes.
So
but I have
many.
a question for you. Do you ever feel anything different?
Having somebody's heart,
Yes.
you mean?
You're right, right.
At first people were asking me that, and I said, "No, I don't feel anything different." And then all of a sudden I started enjoying hot peppers and spicy food. And come to find out, because Miguel has 4 kids, 2 sons and 2 daughters. And the oldest sons told me, they said, "Dad loved peppers."
Wow.
And so I went, "Okay, I understand that now." And because you can ask anybody in my family, I never really was a hot, spicy guy. But then I started able to do handyman stuff, which I've never been able to do. You can ask my wife. Hey, if I needed something done, I got to hire it out. And so I'm starting to do little things here and there. And even Sheila was going, "Miguel's working through you." and he is. It's so crazy. But that's just more blessings from God. And to take Miguel and let him live through me, even though his life was shortened tremendously. I've been blessed. I've been truly blessed, and to carry on his name. And I'm very close with his family. I'll go to soccer games for his sons, and I've met a bunch of them, only half of them. There's about 120 of them.
Wow.
And then I got to meet the other 120 later on.
Yeah.
But no, I've been very blessed.
Well, this reminds me of what Jesus Christ did for us on the cross. He went to the cross and was crucified so that we might have life. But he didn't stay dead. He rose from the dead. And so if you are out there and you would like to pray the prayer for Jesus Christ to come into your heart, that is the most important thing you could ever do. So bow our heads out there. Would you lead us in that?
I would. Before I do that, though, God has a plan for you.
Yes.
Obviously, here with this man. He is not done with him. You can see how much energy he has. He's 3 years out, almost coming up on 3 years from the surgery, and the energy that he has, and God has got big plans for you and your family,
Yes.
and your daughters, and he's got his first grandchild on the way. God's got big plans for the Duck family, and He's got plans for you also. And we want you, if you need to take that first step and start or get back to that personal relationship with Jesus Christ, let's pray that prayer right this second. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for Kenny, and thank you for the life that you have given him, and for Miguel that is living through him with his heart. And Lord, what a blessing, what a incredible story, and that you are real, you are alive, you are out there, Lord. You are with us, you are for us. And Lord, I just invite you right now to come into my life, to forgive me of my sin, that you be the Lord of my life, that I may have that personal relationship with you, Lord. That you are my King of Kings and my Lord of Lords. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
If you prayed that prayer to ask Jesus into your heart, tell somebody. Get involved in a church. Our information will be at the bottom of the screen. We would love to hear from you.
Well, Kenny, man, thanks for being on the
Thank
show
you.
today.
Thanks for having me.
Incredible
Great
story.
Thank you.
And you can always check us out on YouTube, Christian Wrestling Federation Today with Rob and Beth Vaughn. And then they'll have a list of our shows there. You can check us out. And so thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next week.